Now, you said boxing has had a great 2023, and I completely agree with you there. With that said, what was the best fight in 2023 for you? The fight that you said, you know what, wow.
No, it has to be not as a fight where like fight of the year type of fight. No, but the best fight was Crawford Spence. That's the one that.
So the event of the year.
Yes, that's the one. And actually to the fight also, because it was supposed to be a 50-50 fight both ways. Some people gave the edge to Crawford. Some people gave the edge to Spence, and nobody was wrong about it. Everybody had the right decision. Me myself, I thought Crawford had the edge, but it was hard. It was hard, but he just made it seem so different. I can't say easy either because nothing's easy, but he just dominated. But it was the fight that we all wanted, the world wanted. There was big events too. Ryan versus Tank was probably bigger when it comes to pay-per-view numbers, but I think Crawford Spence was probably the biggest fight that real boxing fans wanted to see.
Now, with 2024 rapidly approaching, it's here next week and everything, what fight and or fights do you want to see made that we haven't seen yet?
I think number one has to be, and I don't think it'll happen. I just kind of have
I think I know where you're going.
I have a feeling that we won't see it, is Canelo versus Benavidez. I think that's the fight. I think it's bigger than us waiting for Crawford Spence. I think Canelo versus Benavidez will be bigger. I think that it needs to happen, but I kind of have a feeling that we won't see it.
And I know we've talked about it before and you've said it. Why don't you feel that we're going to see it?
Canelo has already accomplished more than anybody else. People in Mexico still don't accept him, don't give him the credit. Canelo has done it. He's the first Mexican undisputed. He's the first Mexican to win titles at 68 or 7 light heavyweight. He's accomplished so much. Plus he's made so much money, and a lot of people don't accept him for that. People want to see him get into wars, get dropped, get cut, get up and win. Be losing every round and then win by knockout. But he's just, he's a very smarter man, much smarter than what people want to see. He fights smart. He picks the right fights. He's done the most money, as any other Mexican boxer has ever done. I think he's done more than anybody else. But, this fight is the one he needs. He needs to give us this fight. But because he's got so much hate and so much boxing people talking shit about him, and so millions of Mexican fans that don't accept him, that he's going to say, fuck you guys, I'm not going to give it to you guys. He doesn't have to give it to us. Would we love to see it? I would love to see it, but he doesn't have to, because he's the one that calls the shots. He says who he fights, and if he doesn't want to, people already hate him. Let's hate him a little bit more for not giving us that fight.
What other fights in 2024 do you want to see get made? I know you said that's your number one. Well, what's like number 2 and 3?
Normally I don't want to get into my own fighters, but I want to get Bam to fight Gallo Estrada.
I've heard of that. That is a great
Gallo
fight.
Estrada would be huge. I think Bam doesn't want to fight at 112 anymore. He had 2 fights and the cutweight wasn't easy, so he's going to go back to 115, and that's the fight he wants. I think with Bam, the better the opponents, I think the better his performances are. We had a great performance against Cuadras. Then he goes against Rungvisai, has a fucking amazing performance. And then he had 2 performances back to back against guys that he had never heard before. They were good fighters, not to discredit those guys. They were fucking talented fighters in great shapes, getting a title opportunity. They trained like never before to become champions. And Bam didn't have the performances that maybe the boxing world expected, ourselves expected, because they were opponents that Bam had no idea who they were. They were just opponents that he was there and didn't have the best performances. But then he comes back against Sonny Edwards, who was also a champion, talking a lot of shit. And that I think the better the opponents, I think the better Bam's going to perform. So I think Gallo's the best, in the last 10 years maybe, pound for pound, one of the best also. So So I think that'll bring the best out of Bam. I think that's the fight that I want to see. Obviously for my team, my fighters, and obviously with the rest of my guys. I have so many guys that but I don't like to. I brought that one up because that would be a big fight. There's so many. Like Raymond doing really good. Jose Ramirez coming back. With new news that everybody's gonna hear pretty soon. We're just back. All those are big fights, for us, for my team. But Bam versus Gallo is another one. There's so many fights out there. I would love to see, Tank fight Shakur. You know what I mean? Tank fight Devin Haney. Those are big fights, man, and they're all in the same weight division where those fights could, all could happen. Devin Haney made a big statement in his last fight, so I would love to see him fight against somebody like Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? There'll be huge fights. Then at 140, we also have that kid that that nobody wants to even get in the ring with, Matias.
Oh, Subriel Matias.
He would put up. Those Haney, Teofimo against him would be fucking badass fights too.
Subriel looks like a 140 Trinidad to me. Just beast.
That fucker's a beast, man. Dangerous guy to be in the ring, I guess. But there's a lot of big fights, man. I think the way this year was, with a lot of those fights happening, I think we're gonna have another good one. 2024. I think we'll see Tyson Fury versus Usyk. I think we'll see Joshua against Wilder, or maybe against Fury also. Sometime next year, and then Tank should fight all those big names out there. Haney will fight those big names because he wants to. He's going after those fights. Bam is going after those fights too. I think we'll get those fights. I think we will get them next year.
And finally, to let you go, man, just let everybody know where they can follow you, get to catch whatever happens here at RGBA, because there's a lot of things that happen here at all times.
With so much fighters and so many things going on, I can't really mention all my fighters because we have too many. A lot of young prospects, a lot of stars already, a lot of fighters that are already fighting main events. So it's hard to it'll take forever to mention all, but I just get a lot of support, a lot of love from everybody. My people in different states. Texas has shown us a lot of love. California, obviously, this is where we're from. Arizona, Bam's last fight and last weekend was huge. A lot of people showed up, a lot of love, a lot of support. So people always show us nothing but love, and we really appreciate that. We always do it for our fans. Whatever it is, whichever fighter I have, wherever I'm at in the world, I get nothing but love. So that it means a lot to me. The fans keep supporting us. Fans keep supporting my fighters. Sometimes I've heard it a lot of times also, that when a fighter comes to me, maybe I hear a lot of fans, oh, I didn't like him before, but now because he's with you, we're gonna support him. Or same thing, when fighters end up going somewhere else, a lot of my fans, they kind of don't want to support them again because of that. It's just we get true love. So it's that makes me work harder. Makes me work harder. Makes me put my fighters into better shape so they could go out there and perform. We doing our own shows too here in Southern California and Texas, and all shows have been very successful. The people show us a lot of love. So for that, we appreciate all the love that people give us.
Again, thank you for your time, Robert.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.